what was great was anyway, I should have warned you that I have just seen it on that Jesuscina Foundation is recording this program. So if anybody is on here who objects to the recording, please, you may leave now. But if you are still here, then I take it, I can safely assume that we all don't have any problem with the recording. I do not have any problem at all. So if you accept it, then we all agree that yes. But you are told that the program is being recorded. Thank you. Anyway, MK, please, if you can mute your microphone for me. Thank you. Bless you. Anyways, and so everything we've seen before, like I was saying, some of us started out. I've lived in Milton Keynes before. I've lived in Leicester before. I've lived in Bedford. I live in London. In London, I lived in Camberwell before. I live in Peckham, and I live in Croydon. That was my last place, and now I've moved into the deep ends of Surrey. You know, so I'm in the areas of Camberley. I moved from London for one reason of family. The family wanted a bit of quietude, and second reason of peace of mind. But guess what? My office is still at London, and it's at Hornsey, which is close to Turnpike Lane. In fact, that's the closest tube station to us, Turnpike Lane. And we are between Hornsey and Wood Green, which is close to Turnpike Lane. And we have different areas of practice, but today I'm going to stay on immigration, as advertised earlier on by Jesuscina Foundation. So before I start with the topic itself, I would pay homage to the organizers of this program, particularly Jesuscina and Harriet Appel and all the team working very tirelessly to put this together. And of course, you who has taken some chance and time, you know, to stay up and stay with us. This is the time that people will be catching up with the scores lineup from their home countries, the Premier League here in England and all that. But you decided to pluck some of the time off and give hearing. Like I said, it's going to be a blessing to you tonight. And just in case it's not even a blessing to you tonight, you can pass the knowledge or the impact that it would have in your life on. And if there are questions you would ask. I will first go straight on the topic, how to regularize your stay, especially when we have left the EU. You may also find that sometimes I'll be going around a little in circle, but forgive me because I don't do notes too much. I do points, then I'll just flow my points or maybe build it up whilst we get along. Well, you see, us, if I say us, I'm talking about us, the minority, and I'm believing that for every single person who is on now, about 18 of us who is on now, a good number of us are minority who might have come from some place or the other. We might have come from the continent when we were part of the EU, or we might have come from even Ghana straight away, or Nigeria, or Congo, or Uganda. Wherever we find ourselves, we are still in it as minority. For us, because we're not born here often than not, we have to struggle for papers first. So it's kind of a chronology of an event that climbs of as soon as you put your bag down, you take a decision, whether you're going to work, get the money and go back home and establish, or you're going to think of getting your papers and move here and making family and stay here. Now, when you take that decision, you're going to stay here, then the giant decision also comes on you that, then how do I get papers? Now, if you take a decision that you are going home, then you also take a decision, how am I going to hide with the period that I'm going to be here before the immigration gets me after my leave or the visa that I'm given expires? You see? So whatever you see it, however you say it, you realize that you belong to that side of the trip who would have some thought to do. You definitely will have some point to think of. I realize that many of us would understand the rudiments that we have to have papers, but we not make any move. That's the first thing I realized within our communities. If I say communities, the minority communities. And secondly, I also realized that the only place that we know is family and private life. So if we were to make a very, 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 very good head counts and interviews on individuals who are from the minority side, who are here on their purpose, and I can assure you, more than 80% of them will tell you that I got married, so my wife was British, or my wife was from the continent and she's an EU citizen, and I got my papers. Or I have a child and I dwell on my child because of the private life I have with a child. They put me on the further leave to remain as a family and a private life person, either 10 years route or 5 years route. A good number of us will find ourselves within that bracket. But I can assure you, there are many other ways that we could go through. Now, what my people, if I say my people, we on the minority side, are struggling with is many of the routes that will let us stay here and do our papers here are all blocked. For example, the EU. If your marriage wasn't contracted before the end of 2020, that's 31st December 2020, a marriage was contracted afterwards, you will struggle to make a case to say that, oh, because I'm married to an EU citizen, you should let me stay here. But if your marriage was contracted before, then of course there is a little chance, even that. The question will be, why have you stayed all this while? The whole of 2021 is gone and 2022 is in February. So it means 12 plus 2 months, 14 months. This is why you're coming back and you need some explanation to do, believe me. So I've seen people who had stayed, they were married to EU citizens before 2020, but they've stayed until now. And deep, big questions have been asked. In fact, some of them have been called for interviews, which they are not able to answer many of the questions that are being asked. Because some of the questions that they ask are silly. I've seen an interview where questions of about 200 has been asked, believe it or not. They asked the woman 200 questions, they asked the man 200 questions at the Home Office Center in Croydon, surprisingly. And you'll be amazed where these questions are coming from. So your lawyers will not be able to help you because the Home Office has a pool of about 2,000 or more questions that they will be asking. And so your lawyer cannot even help you if he even knows all the 2,000. In fact, you cannot even memorize all the 2,000. So it will be coming from anywhere and everywhere. And some of these questions are very silly to the extent that even if we decide to put very genuine married couple who've married for 15, 20, 25 years, they wouldn't know. For example, myself, I will not be able to tell you the color of the bed sheet that I slept on last night till today because I didn't lay it. My wife did. And these are some of the things that would not be on my mind to just put it in my head. But unfortunately, these are some of these stupid, I would say, forgive my language, questions that the Home Office want to ask. And when you get them wrong, the Home Office will say that you are not compatible. I can accept some of the questions they asked. For example, your wife's siblings, how many are they? If indeed you are married to your wife, you should know how many they are. And some questions, including that your wife's father, is he alive or he is not alive? Some of these things are very obvious that you'll be able to answer. But the color of the carpet in your room, the color of your curtains at home, and what food did you eat this morning, I wouldn't remember. For the simple reason that they want to pin you down. So I've seen couples who are married, genuinely married, who have been denied. Then it goes to another tier. In that way, you have to push it to the first tier tribunal, the immigration and asylum chamber, to push for them for an independent person. Then we go there, then we tell the judge these stories. And sometimes we're able to tell the judges that where the Home Office coming from is irrational. It's unreasonable to be asking these questions because sometimes we do not know. And most especially about our cultures. We leave our children, we don't even know what their temperaments. Cultures are quite different. You see, the minority culture, some of us are not even too much affectionate compared to the other cultures. And there's nothing wrong with that. You see, I've seen some people who would say that they have not been too affectionate to their children because of the kind of job they do. I know a military man who would say this to me all the time. Because if I'm too much affectionate to them, one day I'll go, I won't come back. And the impact that was going to have on the children will be greater than if the affection was too much greater. And indeed, one day when he didn't come back, he died in Iraq. Of course, the impact is same, but in his head, he's thinking that since he's not been around, these are some of the things that have happened. And I remember the former president of the Republic of Ghana, blessed memory, Flight Lieutenant Jerry Rawlings, used to say that he didn't grow up with his children. He was living at the barracks in Gonda Barracks, and his children were living somewhere else. Because he said that since he came through the barrel of the gun, one day he would also go like that. So he doesn't want to get affection. So it's a cultural thing sometimes. What am I driving at? I'm driving at saying that when you are making a move to do any application in the Home Office, it is important. In fact, not only important, it is instructive to talk to a lawyer. Because listen, I'll give you an example. I can wash my own car. As we sit here, I can wash my own car. But when I want to wash my car, I don't wash it. For the simple reason, it's going to take me about 45 minutes to 1 hour to wash my car. My fee for an hour is £250 plus VAT. So if I spend 1 hour washing my car, I could potentially be losing £250 plus VAT. Whereas at the corner from me, I could have just taken my car just at the corner from me to wash it for £15 or £20. So I can understand that you can read and write. I can understand that you know the immigration rules. I can understand that you don't need a lawyer to make a successful or valid application to the Home Office. But sometimes there are hurdles here and there that you have to cross. We as practitioners, we have the full detail of the guidance of the immigration, the entry clearance officers, the guidance they have to follow. You can download the guidance on the internet, but you not have all. You realize that certain areas are struck off because of the sensitivity of it. But the lawyer understands. He knows the journey that he has to cross. He knows the movement that he has to do. So after we left Brexit, now the marriage to an EU citizen, which you would do it here, so you don't have to go to Ghana, is no more. Unless the marriage was contracted before the end of 2020. Man, I'm sure somebody will be asking that my brother doesn't have. He just came in, he has just 6 months, is going running down. Then, lawyer, what should he do? There are other ways to it, many other ways. There are people who are students here. Fortunately, there is another opening for students. The Home Office had also come out with the graduate route. Whereas if you come here to do your master's or first degree, after you finish, the Home Office gives you 2 years extra to work. Sometimes work experience, sometimes you just put yourself together before you go back home, which is good news. I've had people calling me from Ghana and said that, oh, I want to bring my daughter to come and study, and I'm told that my daughter will get 2 years graduate route afterwards. I say, yeah, is it worth it? I say, it's worth it. For example, if people come and study master's degree, most of the master's program here, apart from some few, are 2 years. 1 year. That's 12 months you have finished. Very few are 2 years, of course. Now, if you come and study master's for 1 year, possibly if you get a very reasonable university, if I say reasonable university, reasonable on price. If I say reasonable on price, I'm talking about London South Bank, Westminster. I'm talking about London Metropolitan University. These are all good universities. In fact, compared to our universities that we have down home in Africa, they are good. A lot of these universities are better than these universities. Now, if you're studying, for example, psychology for a year, it's going to cost you about £17,000 on the average, give and take, as an international student. Plus your accommodation and everything, give and take, is going to cost you about maybe 27,000. That's 10,000 for the year for your accommodation and your feeding costs and all that. Give and take, round it up to about 30,000. When you finish, then you get the extra 2 years. Even if you are working full time, at Sainsbury's, you are very likely to get about £20,000 a year working full time at Sainsbury's. It's highly likely you can get that. So if you get that 2 years, 20,000 plus 20,000, you're going to give you 40,000. So if you put 30,000 in your education, then you get 40,000 after you get your graduate route, you are good. The reason is you end up having a British degree, which is very enviable everywhere you go in the world. Extremely enviable. Those of you who are listening to me who've done some degree, I'm sure a lot of you are on there who've done some NEBOSH, health and safety. Some people have done business analyst programs. Some of you have done AML programs and on all other programs. And you realize that everywhere you go, people respect you so much when you get a British degree. So after the 2 years, and often than not, the people that have advised who have gone through this system had even gone on to that point that by the end of their 2 years, they are settled one way or the other because they met somebody, they got married to them, or because they got a job which the job decided to switch them. One of my clients, he came here to do computer science at University of London, Holloway, the college in University of London College in Egham in Surrey. And then when she finished, she got a job with a computer firm, I think IBM, somewhere in the city. Then she told them at once that, listen, I don't have the papers to work, but I can work for the going 2 years as the government has, increased it. Then they said, no, we can switch it down to tier 2. So they switched her down, to tier 2. And at the end of the day, she's going through the route, and the next 5 years, she can settle. So a lot of them would settle, especially those who do the courses that are very relevant. So sometimes when parents even call me from Ghana, I tell them that, let me know the course that your ward did for the first degree or the program they are going to do for the first degree. And afterwards, I can advise which program they have to do. Some of the programs, as soon as even before you finish, you have your job already, especially in the areas to do with the sciences, in the areas to do with health, you get good in the areas to do with computer and mathematics. So there are other ways as well. And I've also heard many people saying that, oh, it is quite difficult to go home and do your papers and you won't come back. I've done it many times. Some people come to your office and you explain to them, oh, lawyer, I have met a woman or a man whom I want to marry. I don't have any papers. I came here with a 6 months visa. I'd overstayed for 2 years already. And this woman is British. I'm told that I can't do it here. But when I go home, I'm told that I'm going to be stuck at home for 10 years. So I don't want to go. The first question I ask them is, who told you that? You see, that has been the narrative and the general perception, especially those rumors that go around in air that you're going to spend 2 years. Perhaps one person had seen one or few people who had gone home and spent 10 years. So they think if you go, you're going to spend 10 years. No, not at all. A client came to me and told me this story. Then I listened to the story. I asked the client some few questions. Then she answered the questions. And I told her, you have to go home. You'll come back. He said, no, lawyer, ask for home. No. It's not an option at all. If I go and I don't come back, that's going to be the end of my life and all that. I said, no. So long as you have answered the questions that I ask you, the answers you've given me are the right answers, are the honest answers, you go, you come back. She said she was going to think about it. She didn't accept it. 7 months down the line, I heard from her. Where was she? Immigration Detention Center in Bedford, Yaleswood. She has 1 week to be deported. Then she called me. Lawyer, I said, I said, what is it? They came to her house, the immigration, at 4:30 a.m., banded us all up in the house and sent us. So I am somewhere in Bedford. They said, but I told you to go about 7 months ago. You didn't. I didn't hear from you again. Anyway, if this phone call means that you are instructing me, yes, I will take the instruction and we can take it from there. What I cannot guarantee is you not being deported. But I can come and look at it. Then she instructed me. Jump into my car, went to Bedford, just went to speak to immigration and all that. The long and short of the whole story is that she will go. But now we have to tell the immigration that, listen, if you remove this woman, she's not going to come back in the next 10 years. Well, she'll be banned. But if this woman decides to go by herself, something will happen. So we have to plead with them that, listen, in the interest of justice, because mind you, the husband is still here, the husband is British. In the interest of justice, let this woman buy her own ticket and go back. They agreed, fortunately. She had to buy a ticket in 2 days' time. Within the 2 days was a peak period because the kids were on vacation. They were on holiday. She has to pay 1,450 for British Airways to go. You see, something that you could have done 7 months ago for £400. Peace of mind. Get your own baggage. Prepare home. Tell your friends you're coming to spend some time, a month or two, to see what's going on before you return the journey. Now, they have to meet you at the airport with clothing that they don't even fit you really well. You see, because friends will help, but they don't really much know your size, you know. They just get everything and say, we'll be looking forward to receiving you again. People don't listen to advice. Anyways, the long and short of the whole thing is she went home, and in 2 months she was back. Because it is, you see, there are tests. There are suitability tests, legibility tests. So we look at all these tests, and I ask you very honest questions. You sit in front of me at my office or maybe on a telephone Zoom meeting. I ask you these questions that, do you fall for this? Do you fall for this? Have you been in trouble? Have you been this? Have you been this? And if you answer all these questions honestly, I can tell you that, listen, from how you've answered your question, if you go back home, they will ban you. Take a decision. It's up to you. I cannot say go or not go, but I'll tell you, if you go back home, they will ban you. I'll be truthful to you because that's my job. Or if you answer it honestly, I will tell you that, listen, from all what you've told me, if you go back home, you're going to come back. Even before you go, this is what I can do for you. I'll take all the documents. So like this woman, the husband is going to bring her back. I took all the documents from the husband. For every qualification, 18,600 is why you need. Do you qualify? Do you have accommodation? Do you qualify? Do you have your 6 months of pay slip? Do you qualify? Do you have your 6 months of bank statement? Do you qualify? For everything that goes in, did everything. Make sure that I have the documents and booked the appointment in Accra, TLS contact at Moving Ambassador Hotel to go for her fingerprints. And even that, I said, because you are in this trouble, spend a little money and take a premium service. So don't wait for the application that returns in 6 months. Add £800 to it. It's no money. It's no money. Our rents that we pay are more than £800 in this country anyway. The remittances that we send to people at home are more than 800. The land that we go and buy, the houses that we build that we never get to sleep in unless we are going for retirement are more than £800 anyway. So add £800 for premium service. In 5 days or 10 working days, your visa is going to return to you. And guess what? I have a client who went home and did the premium service, and he didn't even see family members. He went home and went to sleep at a hotel in Achimota. And all these 2 weeks he was waiting at the hotel in Achimota. He goes room a little bit, come back home, call the wife here, and they get on telephone Zoom call, and they chat and all that. He goes to bed. And when the thing is ready, he returned. But people do not understand, because we Ghanaians and the minority, especially, we thrive very well on rumors. We are very happy to see rumors flying rather than what is the case. You see, and I'm a lawyer who has been at the position that you have been in before. For every position that everybody who is on the minority has been before, I've been in before. I've been a laborer at a construction site in Russell Square. I have been a laborer at a demolition site in Holborn. I've been a taxi driver. I've been a minicab driver. I've been a security guard. I work at Sainsbury's. I work at Tesco's. I've done a delivery job. I've done everything. I've done everything. I've been called by other names before, like everybody else. Do you understand? So when you come, before you start a conversation, I full well know the direction that this conversation is going. It is only so much that I can have to give you only the best of advice that will help you. I won't talk too much, like I said. I will leave it here. But my main topic today is, how do we get to regularize our stay here? Ask me what you want to know, then we continue with it. Thank you so much.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Harriet, if you continue the coordination, then you can be picking.
Is it possible to ask a question?
Yes. Harriet, I thought you were coordinating it. Oh, you left the coordination to me. Fair enough. Okay, then Samson, go ahead.
For me, I'm okay. Let me go straight forward. I'm new in London. I was in Germany. I came about 3 weeks ago. I have a German document. I have a German pass. But when I was coming, unfortunately for me, the German
Oh dear. Something you're breaking up. Oh, I'm sorry. I can't hear something again at all.
Okay, so any more? Okay, Samson, go ahead. Right, I think I can see Bimpe's hand is up.
Bimpe, go ahead.
Yeah, Bimpe, I can see your hand is up. Go ahead
Okay,
with your question.
Yeah, like it's not long I came into UK. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
All right. So my application is inside the Home Office. I came to my daughter is with Irish passport. She has Irish passport, so I apply on my daughter's passport for, I don't know, what do they call it?
Dependent.
Yes. I'm depending on my daughter's. My daughter. Yes. So I don't know. It's been in the Home Office since August. So, and I've not heard anything from it. I don't know what is happening. So for now, like I told my sister the other time that I have some things I want to discuss with her, but this program now gave me opportunity to speak out. So I can't walk because of that. But my kids are in school now. So that's just, I don't know if there's any advice you can give me.
Sorry,
okay.
My internet went off. So
okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. Let me answer Bimpe very quickly, then I'll go back to you, Samson, if you don't mind. Okay, please.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. Bimpe, so you said your application has been at the Home Office since August 2021, which means if you count it down to now, it's about 6 months, isn't it?
Yes.
Have you done your biometric fingerprint?
No, I've not.
Oh, how?
Like
you did it yourself?
No, I didn't do it myself.
Who did it?
I use a lawyer.
Okay. Has your lawyer given you proof of submission of the application?
Yes, I've gotten it.
Has the Home Office written to you?
Not yet. I got the Home Office notification through my lawyer that they got the application, the acknowledgement.
Okay. And your lawyer didn't continue to book a biometric for you?
Not yet.
Are you sure?
Yes. What happened then was because they said my daughter is not yet, that I can't depend on her because she was 17 then. She was 16. So that I can't depend on her, that the application is going to come from me. So it's like a different kind of application that I did then. If I check my phone now, I will check what is on top of the forms that I have that I did then. They sent, it's like a special form they sent to us to fill. So
because whatever it is, you could have still gone through your daughter, you see, because if your daughter was 16, then of course your daughter should be in your care, and the virtue of the fact that she is Irish and she is within the union, you should have, like somebody who has given birth to a British child here. You understand? You know what? I'll leave my number. I think I would have further questions I need to ask you, and I'll get. I want to see the application.
Please, I will appreciate
a copy of the application, which we cannot put it
on. And the second one, sorry, my son, I gave back to him here, the second one, but then I didn't wait. He just have the birth certificate. Though I put him under the dependent of my daughter too. We applied together.
How old is your son?
My son is going to be 16 in October.
You gave birth to him here?
Yes, 2006.
Why didn't you register him when he was 10 to get British passport?
I was not here then. in UK.
Have you told your lawyer this?
Yes, I told him. He knows because he uses birth certificates, British birth certificate that I got for him then.
And he has been here all the 16 years. He hasn't gone anywhere.
No. We went to Nigeria together. We came back together again.
Oh, so he broke it. He broke the 10 years.
Yes. That's what I'm trying to let you know.
Oh.
Yes.
Listen, Mom, call me after the program.
Okay, I'll call you.
And let me give you some questions that you have to ask your lawyer.
Okay.
I suspect that your lawyer is doing all the right things.
Okay.
But sometimes you have to prompt your lawyer a little bit on certain areas.
Okay.
So please call me after the program. Okay.
All right, I will. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma. Samson.
Okay, Samson, can you go ahead with your question? Your line just went off.
Yeah. So as I was saying, so now I don't know what to do. Because I have a German pass, I'm a German citizen. But unfortunately for me, when I came to London, when I came to the UK, they are no more in the EU, and I cannot do the settlement, EU settlement or something. So I didn't know. I have a girlfriend here, but she has indefinite stay or something, and I don't know what is the possible way for me, because I heard a friend of mine told me I can go to Ireland to go and register there and work for maybe a year, then come back or something. But unfortunately, fortunately for me, I had this platform today sent to me by a friend. So I said, okay, let me ask someone who has an idea, who can also teach me what to do.
Do you plan getting married to your girlfriend? And if that anytime soon?
Yeah,
it's a good route. I'm not pushing you. Don't worry about it. But it's a starting point. It's a good route.
Yeah, but it's all about money. You have to
be prepared.
You have to be prepared before you. No, it's not only commitment, but it's also have to be. There have to be financial aspect of it. So I want to marry her, but I need to work to raise the capital to.
I won't ask you too many questions. Otherwise, I mean, especially on the platform, but I would want to speak to you and ask you some questions. But I will give you a general advice, and you would know why I'll be asking you and the questions I'll be asking you. Now, there are some shortage of work, some shortage of jobs in the system, and they've added new code to it. Some have been very, very, very down now. For example, the code 6146, which is a shortage of jobs in the areas of care, and home care. And some of the other areas of work too are very, very much short. So if you are in the categories of that, especially those of you who come from continent, I know a good number of you had very good upgraded license and all that. There are areas to do with truck drivers. There are shortage of job and all that. Now, if you're able to get around and find one of these shortage of work, you can find an employer who will be willing to give you a certificate of sponsorship, and you can go on one of these, but there are certain few things you have to do first.
I tried looking for that. I researched a lot online. Since I've been here, I've been doing a lot of research. But getting a company to sponsor you when you don't have the field, you are not on the field. So most companies, you see, you write to them, they have questions, they are not giving certificate of sponsorship, or it's another thing. So that one too has made it.
Yeah, that's your best bet, because the going to Ireland to work, I've heard it many times. I don't think it's the best route, to be fair, because it's a waste of time. You see, you get back to the same point. You see, because the thing is, then you have to get all the way down to being a settled person first in Ireland, because you'll be so accepted here. And being settled in Ireland would mean that 5 years down the line before you'll be settled, because you'll still be a pre-settled person there. Do you understand? So yes, it's a good route you can go, because they are still in it. They are still admitting the European Union citizens. But the question is, how good would that be if you have to go through that route? But when you have passports like German passports and you just next door neighbor where you can enter, you stay for 180 days, you can be looking through for something. I'll leave my number on, and when I'll leave my my handle too, my Facebook handle. And if I get something, often when I get something, I put them on my Facebook handle and people will just click and see, especially when I get jobs coming up, which would switch people's leave and all that.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll be really happy to.
Have your question been answered?
Yeah, my question has been answered. It's unfortunate I'm still using my German line in UK, so it's getting, yeah. So I don't know how. Will you paste the number or something so that I can?
Yeah, I'll announce it. I'll announce my number by the end of the
Oh, okay.
The broadcast.
Okay. Then
So
thank you so much.
We give Amaka the chance to talk now. Amaka, I can see your hand up. Hello, Amaka. All right. Oh, I cannot ask this.
Sorry, I was talking without unmuting myself. Hello, everyone.
Okay.
Yeah. I made a Zambrano application in the month of August, and the only thing I have is a letter of application. Sorry, of submission, just acknowledgement. I think that's the word. A letter of acknowledgement. And I've rang them up severally, and they keep saying that it's still within the time frame.
It's in progress.
Yes, that is in progress.
That's their word, isn't it?
Yeah, that's their word. So I don't know, because what I had was private life, 10 years route, but in what they talked about on EU settlement, I said, okay, let me somebody give me an advice of a case that was ruled in favor of a particular lady, Akisanya. So
Akisanya, yeah.
Yes, so and advised me to put in, and I did. So yeah, but I've heard of some people. I have a friend that she said she did. She submitted hers in June, and they just sent her is a letter for biometrics, yes. So yeah, but initially I was skeptical, considering the fact that Home Office was going to appeal against yes. So, but from what I read yesterday again, I think they also lost it. Yes. So I don't because really.
Okay, let me answer a question. But before I answer Amaka's question, for the benefit of everybody who is online now, you know, the Zambrano is a case of being a primary carer of a British child or a settled person. So now, if you're a primary carer of a British child or a settled person, you'll be able to have Zambrano rights. And a good number of people are taking advantage and go on this. But when we started this, some people were shuffling their feet because the Home Office lost a case in the tribunal, and the tribunal said, no, it is wrong. Because before, when people have the Zambrano right, Home Office will tell them that they still have the further leave to remain under family and private life. That's the FLRFP. So they should go through that route. One, for the reason is it's very expensive because you have to pay NHS surcharge and you have to pay application fee. The NHS surcharge is about 1,560. The application fee is 1,052. Adding this, you are looking about 2,600 plus lawyer's fee. If lawyer even takes 1,002 or 1,005, this is the direction that you would be going. But with the Zambrano, it was free. All people were paying is lawyer's fee, and that's it. You see, so people were going on there, and the Home Office were not happy. The Home Office said, no, it's not a good law. And Akisanya, the poor woman, was helped by the Islington Council network, and they challenged the decision. And the judge said, no, you're applying the law wrongly. The Zambrano law was in Belgium, and at the time the law came in Belgium that the Zambrano won, were part of the EU. So what is good for the goose is good for the gander. So it should be applied to everyone. You see, so the Home Office, the judges said that the Home Office should start giving people the Zambrano right. The Home Office said, no, we're not going to allow that. They went ahead to challenge it. And it stopped a lot of people in their tracks that if the Home Office is going to challenge it, they won't go. So I was telling people that do it, because now the lawyers are going to increase their fee and there'll be a closing gap to it if you don't do it now. And they went to the appeals court, and the appeals court said, no, you are applying the law wrongly. Let the people go. You see, and that is how the Zambrano came. So those who applied at the time that it came around July, August, when the law came that the Home Office should do it, Home Office literally sat on it. They were not writing to anybody. They were not doing anything to anybody. They sat on it. To me, they might have sat on it in annoyance. They were angry. They were pricked. So they sat on it. Then when the next ruling came from the appeals court, they have started releasing it. Amaka, your own case is not different from others.
Okay.
Within August and now, I had done more than 70 Zambrano cases. I can assure you, not more than half had been received. I'd had successes of about 7 of them. 7 had come, it's all cleared. They've been granted.
Okay.
And some I didn't hear from the Home Office at all. You call them and you're a witness to it, they will tell you it's still in progress.
Yeah.
Don't stop calling them.
Okay.
Make it a point. I have been instructing my caseworkers all the time, make it a point, but every week at least call them one. Because for every call that you do to Home Office, they log it.
Yes.
And when it's logged that no, Amaka is desperate, Amaka wants to move on with her life, because I'm sure your passport and everything with them, isn't it?
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, because it wasn't online application, that was a paper application. So you have to bring everything to them.
Yeah.
It's not too late. 6 months is not too late, but they have overstayed their period. Exactly. Having said this about the Home Office, I'm also reasonable to the fact that I know the Home Office has been very, very, very overwhelmed. Since the COVID, they lost a lot of workers. They asked some of them, and some of them they lost, due to the COVID. People didn't want to come into work, you see. So the Home Office is struggling now. Applications which were spending about a month or two are now spending about 6 months. They are generally struggling, I can assure you. So I'm sure you're also one of those ones that is sat on it. So I'm sure by now they will release it. Now you have to call them, and when they say it's in progress, tell them that I can understand it's in progress. I can appreciate that you're overwhelmed, but I need to make my biometric. Send me a letter, please. Put down a note. Send me a letter to make my biometric. Because it's only when your biometric are picked before the application begins.
Oh, okay.
You see, it's only when your biometric are picked before your applications begins. Okay. But fortunately, when your biometric is picked, the applications come back very quickly. So please keep the pressure on them. Can I ask you a question? Are you the primary carer of the child you're talking about?
Please, yes.
The child's father is not in the child's life?
No.
And the child is British or a settled person?
He's British.
Nice one. Keep your fingers. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Amaka.
Thank you.
Harriet, I'm waiting for you to pick the next caller.
Like 820E. I think you are the next person. I saw your hand up.
Yeah,
it's
is it
me,
me?
Kakra.
Can I? Hello?
Kakra. Hello. Harriet.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead with your question.
Right. I want to find out if you have overstayed your visa and want to further your education. Is there a way out?
Which visa did you overstay?
Student visa.
And how do you hope to finance your education?
Well, I've not figured it out yet.
Probably a family member, right?
Yeah, probably.
Pardon, how do you hope to finance it? Yourself?
No, through a family member.
Through a family member. How long have you overstayed it for?
A year and a half.
Oh, that's a long time. But so you didn't finish the school at all?
No.
Did you start?
No.
You will struggle. The Home Office, my best guess is that the Home Office will tell you to go back to your home country and apply again. Because in many ways, they will see it as penalizing you. You see?
Okay.
So they won't let you have your cake and eat it and having a year. I've even seen people who would have to just defer their course for just about 6 months because they had walked into the course too early. So they want to stay for 6 months and they can restart the course. So for example, if the course period begins in February and they turn up a bit late and they are not, getting their feet on, they tell the Home Office that, oh, we want to start in September. Are you going to allow us to start in September? Home Office is like, no, go back to your home country, September, you come back. So my best bet is that the Home Office is going to go, they're not going to agree. Do you have any children at all here?
No.
Do you have a husband?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. So the next question. Hello. Galaxy, are you satisfied with the answer?
Not really, but I'll call him later.
Okay.
You want to ask further questions?
Yes. But I'll call him.
If there's anything you want me to clarify directly, I can clarify. Because my answer is that I don't think it's going to happen. The Home Office is going to let you apply. If you have any alternative, what have you heard? Have you heard that the Home Office let you apply?
I've not heard anything yet. I'm just considering that option. So I'm thinking of applying, but I don't know.
It's a very tough option. Be careful you don't throw money away. Because mind you, if you apply and it's unsuccessful, your money will be gone. Okay. So be careful.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Delali.
Hello.
Delali, I see your hand up.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Delali.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Lawyer, mine is I did the Zambrano because I have a British child, and I did
the primary care of the British child.
Yeah, I did mine in June, July, and in October I had a letter to do the biometric. And just last week I had a letter of is it certificate of application?
CU, yes.
Yeah. So I would like to find out what does it mean, because they've written a whole lot of things on.
Yeah, it's a lot. Do you have any leave before?
Yeah, I have 2.5. This is the third one I have now.
Okay. Then the certificate application is not even too meaningful to you. Now, the certificate of application allows you to look for a job, allows you to open bank accounts, allow you to do everything that you would do. And so if you didn't have any leave at all, normally people who are doing the first time, I have clients who don't have any leave at all, but they have British children. So they do the first application. When that certificate comes, they use it to do anything and they are happy. You see, they are good because now they can, but you already have leave anyway. You see, you can use your 2.5 to do all these things. And I'm sure you have accounts and probably you are even working and all that. So that's just the name of the certificate application. Now, it will be valid for 6 months. So I'm sure within 6 months, you're going to hear from them. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Lawyer, can I ask this? Yeah. Let's just say I came into the country and I've overstayed. And now to the EU, we are out of it. So it's like the opportunity of getting married to an EU person in here has ceased. You have to go back. So if I still want to legalize my stay, what are my chances?
If you still want to legalize, then first chance may be that you give birth. And when you give birth and you are fortunate enough that your other partner is a settled person or a British person, then your child would automatically become British. You see, or your child will automatically become a settled person. And when your child is a settled person, then you can go to the further leave to remain and stay on that. Apart from that, every other means is quite striking. Or you've met your partner you want to get married here, there is what the Home Office describes as insurmountable obstacle. There is particular obstacle in your way that is so obvious that you cannot fly back to your home country, then the Home Office will allow you. But I can assure you, it's a very high test. It's a big barrier. Nobody goes about it. I had been in court with the Home Office for 6-7 months of a man, of a client who is being wheelchair bound. And the wife is here. The wife is the man's carer, everything. And yet the Home Office wants this woman to go back home. The man has lived here 45 years. The woman has lived here 16 years. The woman doesn't have papers. But the woman is the wife of this man. The woman is the carer and everything. If the woman goes home, within a period that she is there, the husband will struggle because the husband is wheelchair bound. The Home Office is not playing ball. They are not accepting. And so we have to take it even to the upper tribunal to see what goes on there. This is to tell you that the insurmountable obstacle we're talking about is a very high test. And so people coming back saying, oh, lawyer, I feel suicidal, lawyer this, lawyer that, lawyer that. And so I will be staying here. No, that is different. Or there are also people who have very genuine fear of going back to their home countries because of persecution or for some reason. Those people too can start an application on other routes as well if they have very genuine fear that they're going back. For example, they are lesbians or they are gay, as in men who would fear that when they go back to their home country, they'll be persecuted, their safety is compromised. They can be looking at it that, listen, we have very genuine fear, so we don't want to go. This country is compassionate that if they're able to understand that you have very genuine fear, they may look after you and give you a place to stay. Other than that, Harriet, I'm sorry, the gap has been very, very narrow.
So meaning the only chance now, if the person has overstayed, is giving birth.
Yes, it's one of a good chance.
Right.
But then the partner should also, have something to cover the child.
Okay, so what of if I'm a nurse in Ghana and I want to migrate to this place? Because I learned now there are gap in the NHS.
Oh, yeah.
So what are the things I will need? Is that smooth? Is it like worth it to embark on such a journey?
Yes, there are shortage of jobs around, including nursing and senior carers and carers in general. Now, what it is, you see, before you be able to embark on this journey to come here as a carer, a senior carer or a nurse, there are certain hurdles you have to go through. The very main, it's a point-based system, and you need to get 50 points to walk through. Now, the first and foremost thing that you need to do is to identify a company who would be willing to employ you here. So you don't come and look for the company. So it might be NHS, it can be a particular trust. It might be NHS, maybe Croydon Trust, maybe. It might be NHS Saturn Trust. It might be Croydon, whatever it is, which trust. Then they say that we are short in nurses, but this is a recruiting agent if you go to the recruiting agent. But before NHS do that, or any care home or anyone who wants a nurse, a carer or senior carer does that, that person would have already had gone through those moments that he has spoken to the trust already, and they will give their certificate of sponsorship to that person and say that we are sponsoring Harriet from Ghana because Harriet is a nurse and we need Harriet here, and Harriet will make the application. Until you get that, you cannot cross. So I've been telling people who call me that, oh, I'm a nurse, I want to come. I get a lot every time in my inbox on Facebook, almost every day, not least 17 to 20, every single day. But what I reply and tell them is this: I cannot help. I'm only a lawyer. We have sponsorship as lawyers. We can sponsor lawyers only to come and work for us. But as we are speaking, we don't even need lawyers there to come from Ghana. So if you know any company who is willing to take you and they don't even have sponsorship license, I can help the company to get sponsorship license. It is this sponsorship license that you pluck something off, which is called certificate of sponsorship. So the sponsorship license is just a big tree. Now, off the big tree of sponsorship license, there's a certificate in it. Then they pluck one of the certificates in it. Then they give it to Harriet. Harriet, this is one certificate. You are coming to work at a care home called Anchor. You are a carer. Go take it. The good news is the nurse can come with a partner and their children who are under 18, all to settle together. They go through a journey of 3 years and 5 years, whatever it is. After that, they settle. So the nurses thing is working, but first and foremost, people have to identify which company they want to be with even before.
Okay, thank you. And then let me just remind us, if you want to ask a question, please raise your hand or use the chat button. May I ask this one again? I understand that the Queen is about to celebrate her platinum jubilee, whatever, platinum for being on the throne for 70 years. And then I understand that because Britain had the opportunity of ruling other African countries or other countries, Commonwealth nations are going to have some privilege. Can you please touch on it, or is it even true?
I don't know about that, my dear. I've heard it. Also going around many times, people call me, they ask me, I told them, I don't know about that. I'm sure the reason why people are saying that, when there is any significant period like that in the monarch in the throne, they do things like that. So when the Queen was 50 years on the throne, they did something like that. When the Queen was 25, they did something like that. But it wasn't even visits. Sometimes it was a holiday addition. So instead of maybe the number of days that we have, so we're going to have one extra holiday addition. To be fair, I haven't heard about the Queen's celebration. So Commonwealth countries are getting anything extra. If it comes up, we are more than happy to announce it to people. But as we stand, I have not heard anything like that. I'm sorry.
Okay, thank you. It clears the air though. Joseph's iPhone.
Hello, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I want to ask a question for a friend. Maybe it might be of help to other people. I've got a friend who is schooling here, doing her PhD, and she got married in Ghana, I think, a few months ago. Now she's coming back to continue her studies, and she was asking me, she wants the husband also to join her. How is she going to, do it? What will be the process? What will be the requirements? What does it need to do to get a husband here? If you can help on that.
So let me ask you, is your friend coming to study as an international student, I presume?
She's already studying. She's an international student, doing her PhD,
Doing her PhD?
Yes.
And she's doing the PhD out of student visa, is it?
Yes, please.
Of course. Then the husband can go on her student visa, because now she has tier 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, the husband can go on it as a dependent.
Okay. So if I may ask, what will be the requirements? For every visa application, there are requirements, and you have to, or point base, you have to pass before you get a visa. So in the husband's situation, does he has to prove whether he has money, all those stuff?
It depends on the condition of the wife. If the wife can say that she can accommodate him, then what he has to prove wouldn't be too much. Because mind you that what he has to prove is accommodation, and also how he's going to survive for the first month mainly. People will leave about the equivalent of 400, 500 pounds in their accounts, before they go for the visa to prove. Because mind you, when he comes here, he's coming with a work visa, and he has no restrictions at all. Even if the wife has restrictions on working, he has no restrictions at all. He can work, 35 hours, 40 hours a week. So what you have to prove that for the first period that you can survive yourself. But often than not, when the wife or the partners are already here, They know that they're already settled, so you can get a place to sleep. Food is not even a problem. So little money to get on is fine. If he's a bit worried about it, I would need to ask some few questions. So let him or her, if the woman would call, and I will ask some few questions.
Okay, then I'll pass your number to her to get in contact with you.
Thank you, Joseph.
You're welcome.
Okay. Any more questions? You've got a chance, and it's free consultation. You wouldn't have to pay anything to get your questions answered.
Yes, there is in the chat room, I've received a question here, which I would read it, and then we see how best we can answer it. Is it fine, Ariel?
Okay, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay. I have a question to ask. I came with a visitor's visa, that's 6 months, which I have overstayed for almost 2 years now. I was a professional student in Ghana, but I stopped, but didn't resign as a student. Resign as a student. Okay, let's get in it. Recently, I called the school here in the UK to ask if I can reactivate my student membership. They agreed. I called the London School of Business if I can enroll without student visa. They both agreed. I want to ask if they can help me get my leave to stay. I understand. I think when the school agreed that they are going to enroll you, London School of Business agreed. Mind you, it's a professional school. They do a lot of professional courses, quite expensive. And the professional schools are not too much keen on these things in terms of visa and all that. It was quite recently, the last maybe 4 or 5 years, that the Home Office had really pushed them hard to really look into this on their sponsorship. Now, I think the next question you have to ask London School of Business is, now that you've agreed to admit me and let me continue my education, are you going to use your certificate of sponsorship to cover me as well? And if you're going to give me the certificate of sponsorship to cover me, is the Home Office going to allow, now that I've overstayed, to make the application here? I am sure the answers are going to be no. And if the answers are going to be no, you are going to struggle, I'm afraid. Okay. Samson, is your hand up?
Yeah, Samson.
Yeah, my hand is up.
Yes.
I have another question again.
Mm-hmm.
What about if, let's say I decide to school here? What will be my chances?
If you decide to school here, you just be like any other person who is coming, because you're not going to get the sponsorship to study. You know, before the EU, when we're in the EU, you come here and you just walk in and you study. You exercise your treaty right as studying or maybe working, and the government was obliged to look after you. You see, just as when we came there, we would study in Germany, we study in Holland and Italy, and they are also obliged to look after us, but not anymore. So when you want to study, then you have to go through the same process, you see, and you have to get a school, you have to pay part of your fees, you have to show that you can pay. The school will give you their CAS number, then you use that to apply and everything else.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Esther, can I see your hand up? Esther Moore, is your hand up? Esther Moore.
Yes, please, my hand is up.
Okay, go ahead with your question, please.
Okay, please, I was a bit late. Hi, lawyer, good evening.
Good evening,
I'm Esther. And I'm in Ghana. I'm a midwife in Ghana. Please, I want to ask, if I want to travel to the UK, how do I go about it? What do I need to do to get to the UK? Thank you.
Do you want to travel to the UK to come and continue your work as a midwife, or you just want to come?
I want to continue my work as a midwife there.
Okay. Esther, what you have to do is first and foremost look for a trust, NHS trust or private hospital or any recruiter who wants midwives. Some of the midwives would say that, well, I'm a midwife, but I can downgrade to become a senior carer. Then when I come, I pick it up from there. So I know people who have downgraded. I'll tell you why some people downgrade. Now, when you have a recruiter, so when you go on internet, try and Google recruiters, private hospitals in UK, recruiters for foreign nurses and all that. You Google, you send them email. Some are quite interested to have an interview with you on Zoom. And if you're able to convince them, you persuade them that, yes, you be a hardworking person, you will come, and they have their certificate of sponsorship. They will sponsor you. I've seen some before. I've seen about 3 or 4 nurses. Nobody helped them. They came themselves. You know, one of them was even my cousin. She didn't even call me. When she comes there, I've got a visit, I'm coming. And she's going to Yorkshire, someplace, in a NHS trust to work. I said, how did you make it? He said, I did this, I did that. She was a nurse at Kolebu. You see, so you can just look for such opportunities. And once these opportunities come, then they will give you a certificate of sponsorship. They will try to sponsor you. And if you have to fill any forms that you are struggling, then you come back to me and I can give you some pointers what to do and what to say. I've also seen that Sonia has also sent a message saying that, please, does a nurse still need to do the IELTS? Yeah, the nurse still needs to do the IELTS, but because some of the bits of the IELTS is quite difficult for the nurses have decided to downgrade, and instead of doing the IELTS, they do the B1, the speaking, listening, and then writing type of oral exams. And that is a bit cheaper because that is on level 4, and the IELTS is about level 6 or something, which is quite difficult. So some of them would downgrade because, you see, basically most nurses are still carers. You see, the nurses don't mind to be carers as well. They step down a little bit before they step up again. So they come as senior carers and they start writing the OSCE and everything that they need to write for the nursing and the midwifery council to accept them into their fold again. Then they bounce back to become their nurses. So some go down before they come up. But even in life, sometimes that's how it is.
Okay, thank you. Esther, are you satisfied? Any more questions?
I have a text message here.
Okay.
It says, it's from one of the members from Jesuscina Foundation, and it says, please, I would like to know if a family member of an EU national invites someone from Ghana to the UK. Yeah, a family member of EU can invite someone. I hope that's the question, whether a family member of an EU national can invite somebody. Yeah, of course, if they are they have settlement, you know, here, then they can do that. If they even have leave to remain, they can do that. But like I say, it depends on the person's personal circumstance. And coming here, invite them as what? As visitors or as what? I presume visitors. Yeah, of course. But you see, with visitors applications, a lot of what happens depend on the visitor who is in Ghana. You know, their personal circumstance is very important. Their ties that they have in the country is very important because they need to persuade the entry clearance officer that they are very genuine, and of course they will be able to they'll go back after their visit. They are very genuine. Other than that, you struggle. Do you understand? Is anybody's hand up?
Yeah, I think Sonia is asking, are there specific opportunities for footballers to have an agent and a club here?
Oh, Sonia, that is a big one. That is a big one. For some reason, the British nationality and borders are quite particular about sportsmanship. Very, very, very particular about sportsmanship. A lot of the visa applications that will even bring people through the route of becoming settled would even indicate that you can do everything except sportsmanship. You see, I've seen some agents out there. We have seen some agents out there, but it all depends. I've not done one before. I've not gone that route before for bringing a sports person or maybe applying for a sports person. But I'm sure, but if you research, if you are indeed very keen on it, you can give me a call afterwards and I'll give you some few numbers of agents that I know, and you can talk to them thereafter.
So, lawyer, apart from football agencies, do you know of any other agencies as well?
Agencies who do what?
You said you have a few agencies that you
football agents, the agents themselves.
Yeah.
It's not only
any
football
other
agents.
That you
And
know.
even there are two. I only know one football agent in Manchester and one football agent who is in Italy. But he recruits for everywhere in Europe.
All right. Joseph, go ahead with your question.
Hello again. I've got a friend in the Gulf nations, one of the Gulf nations.
Somebody has left something in the background, so it's disrupting a little bit. But forgive me, Joe. And if you put your the volume up a little bit, I'm sorry.
Hello, can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a friend in the Gulf, one of the Gulf nations, and he's trying to make his way into the UK, and he's been asking how he can, enter the UK. At the moment, he's got a permit to stay there. So I told him I think that's a good place to start if you are settled there. But however, I don't have the legal capacity to advise the process.
Is he settled in the the Gulf states? Is he settled there?
Yes, he's settled.
And what passport does he have?
He has a Ghanaian passport, but he's got right to stay. According to him, it's difficult there.
What does he do? Do you know?
No, I don't know. But currently he's struggling with job. What he's saying, he's being
Joseph, I don't know how he'll be able to come. To be fair, you understand. I don't know how he'll be able to come at this minute unless he had one of those circumstances that will let him come, i.e., because he had a family member here, wife, children, he wants to come and settle, or anything like of the sort that will let him come and settle. Other than that, I don't really know how he would want to make it here. I don't know, to be fair.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Good evening, lawyer. Oh, Harriet, I'm reading one from Eraquia. And Eraquia says, good evening, lawyer. Please, I have 10 years route. Can I switch to 5 years or be Zambrano? I have a child who is settled. Can I still do my EU settle or pre-settle, please? Okay. Yes, if you're on 10 years, depending on your condition, you can change to 5 years route. I don't know your condition, your personal circumstance, what would inform whether the change is permissible or not. And if you want to do Zambrano, same again, your personal circumstance. Are you the primary carer of a British child? I ask yourself this question, that if you are removed from this country, would the British child not survive? You see, questions like this are asked because if there is a father of the British child who is still in the child's life, then it means that the father can survive. So we're talking about, anyway, Eric, I think your hand is up. So I should be very grateful to speak to you and ask some few questions. We go ahead. So let me give you the opportunity, Eric.
Hello.
Hello, Eric.
Yeah. It's just that I did the pre-settle when they were asking for all EU family members to do the settle. I did it, but they asked if the father of the child is in the life of the child, and I say yes. And they asked the question, is the father willing to give all the right to you as a mother? Then it was, I have to go to court for affidavits or something like that. So I didn't bother to continue with the application. So it was there with them for 6 months. And after the 6 months, they sent the refusal letter and everything that I sent to them back. And I have to continue with my 10-year route. So is it possible I can switch after 5 years?
What does the child have? How did you get your 10 years?
With my, the lawyer did it as a mother of a British child.
Okay, so your child, as we speak, is British.
Yeah.
Okay, so your child doesn't need anything.
Like anything, like he has.
You don't have to do anything for your child, right?
Yeah, I have to because he's just at 8 years.
He's what, 8 years?
Yeah.
And he's British.
Yeah.
Yeah, that means you don't have to do anything for what do you want to do for him?
Like I said, I want to switch from the thing I wrote, for
yourself.
For myself, yeah.
Yeah. How many of the route have you gone? It's 2.5, 2. How many have you gone?
2.5. I've gone, and this is the second time.
You've already applied for the second time.
Yeah, and it's like due for, I think I did it in 5th of August, 5th July, and I've not heard. I wanted to even have the response in time, but it's not yet. They sent a letter.
Where is the child's father?
Yeah, he's around.
Is he in the child's life?
A bit.
Well, Erica, call me. I have more questions, but I think I've just got carried away. I've forgotten that we're on a big platform. Call me after the show and let me ask you. You explain to me what the bit means. Then we can.
Sometimes I can take her to her house, to his house. Just like it's not that I'm the sole carer of the child. I'm the primary care of the child. Everything. He stays with me.
I think from what you're telling me, I would advise you to do the Zambrano. Call me after the show and let's talk further. And let me see how much the child's father is in the child's life.
Okay.
Okay. Call me after the show. I'll be awake for a long time.
All right. Thank you.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Sonia has sent a question. Do I read it?
Yes, lawyer, go ahead.
Both myself and husband, together with the kids, are all citizens. And I've been thinking about helping other Ghanaians to regularize their stay, but we don't want it to create problems for us. How can we help people legally without it affecting our marriage, or should we just close our mind? Well, helping people is noble. You see, Sonia, this is a question of your personal conscience. You see, I would like to help people, and I help people because I do it for God, for my own blessing. Even if they turn around, they're ungrateful, I don't really mind. That's not what I look out for. And helping them legally, I don't know which people you're talking about, their condition, because sometimes you only help people, but you are helpless. You see, even as lawyers, somebody walks into your office, you see that they have very good spirit, they are very nice people, they work hard, no trouble, nothing, and you feel that these people have potentials that you think that they should be able to harness this potential to be able to move forward in their lives. But because of papers, they are just stuck. So you see brilliant person, with every standard will show that if this person has papers, he can move on very quickly in life and become whatever they want to become in their potential, in their course to get to where they want to reach. But because of papers, they are just stuck in their patch, and people just even mistreating them. But you can't help them. They don't have anything that you can, because as lawyers, you only have to give us arsenals to fight with. A lot of people have been with the perception that lawyers are sometimes magicians or connection men, or they can do something. That we don't know anybody in the Home Office. Nobody we know in the Home Office. If I know people in the Home Office because I've known them before they work there, we're only friends. We meet, we have drinks. We don't even talk about work. They cannot influence any work that goes there. Everybody at the Home Office will log in with their fingerprint and password. If you work on any application, your name is on it. If it comes out that you have favored somebody wrongly, you will be sacked, you'll be jailed. You see, so nobody can help anybody. That's how we lawyers also are. Is the things that you give us is what we use to fight for you. I've heard people saying that, oh, this lawyer will give you bank statements, he will give you payslip even if you don't have. They are not lawyers. They are unscrupulous people. They are connection men. Lawyers are not. So if a lawyer starts saying that I'll give you papers, I'll give you this, I'll give you that, it is not true. So sometimes you want to help people, but your hands are tied. There is nothing much you can do. So Sonia, it's up to you and your husband. God bless you. And it's on your conscience, to be honest. By helping people, I know that it's noble.
Okay. Any more questions? Or if not, that'll be all for tonight. Any more questions, please? Right.
Good.
So, lawyer, you said you were going to give your number out.
Yes, I'm going to give my number out. And two good news with this number. The first good news is that I don't charge for consultation fee. My first hour, that's what I do for God. My first hour, often 30 minutes, it doesn't go into an hour, it's free. So you call me and we will discuss your topic. I speak a lot of languages, especially Ghanaian languages. I speak a lot of them. So every language that you are very comfortable with, I'm more than happy to go through it. And apart from that, I'm mostly awake. You see, my phone doesn't go off ever. If you call me and my phone is off, it's probably the network, or I'm underground, or maybe I'm in a tunnel or something. It doesn't go off. When I'm sleeping, I leave it on and I return all calls I see when I wake up. Only that's on silent, so it doesn't disturb me. And I return all call, every single call. And we shall discuss that. Now, if you instruct me, I'll look at your personal circumstance. Sometimes you pay half and half. I'm not too expensive, I can assure you. I'm a street one who think about people, because for every position that you've been in, I tell you, I've been in before. We are in a public domain. If I was talking to one-on-one and I tell you what I've gone through, you would laugh. You would thinking your problem hasn't even started at all. But it's by the grace of God that we are where we are. And we are even not firing to our full potential yet, because we would go further than this. So I'm always available, always awake. Call me. If you don't want to call me, text me, I'll call you. Or if it's a quick fire question, you text me, I'll text you back and give you the answer as quickly as possible. Because some people don't want to talk, they just want to text. That's fine. I will text you back. So if you are ready with your pen and paper, this is my number. It is 07874 108 821. 07874 108 821, and I've put it in the chat room as well. So if you go to the chat room, you see is the number is there as well. Oops, it's not there yet. Hang on.
It's not there yet.
Yeah, it's I'll fly. But yeah, it's not. Oh, I'm trying to bring it, but it's not going. Somebody would need to help me. Put it in the chat room for me. So I'll repeat it again. When somebody would need to, I'll put it in the chat room. I don't know what's happened to my keyboard.
Don't worry, you can contact me as well. I'm ever ready to give you the number.
Yes. It is 07874.
Any of us from Jesuscina Foundation.
Nice one. Nice one. Yeah. So 07874 108 821. And you don't even need my permission to give my number to other people as well who are not online. That is it's the only number I have. And so it's always available, it's always on.
Both on WhatsApp and normal call.
Both on WhatsApp and normal call. And my Facebook handle, if you want to catch me up on Facebook too, is Sankofa Tete Danso on Facebook. Yeah. That has been my nickname in the past. I just refuse to change it. All right. So thank you very much, you all, for coming.
Yeah.
I was
just about to say that. So thank you all, and have a lovely evening.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lawyer Anderson. I will call you so that we'll talk.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you, lawyer.
Thank you. You're welcome. Bye.
Okay. Bye.
That's